The second Swedish pro hockey league is called the HockeyAllsvenskan. The HockeyAllsvenskan is a very skilled league and includes some of the best Swedish prospects and great imports. It can be compared to the EBAL, the Swiss League or the Ligue Magnus. The direct promotion to the SHL really eases the movement to one of the best leagues in Europe and the world. Also within those two leagues, there's lots of transactions, especially for local players. So that means if you do well in one league, you can easily play in one of the best leagues in the world in the next season. The league is run in a very professional manner and attracts over 2,600 people per game. Today's interview will be with Kelsey Tessier from Canada. Kelsey played a successful career in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League and also got drafted to the NHL. He then played a few seasons in the American Hockey League and then went on to play in the Allsvenskan in Sweden and also in the EBAL. Today we'll talk about his experience in the Swedish HockeyAllsvenskan. Hi Kelsey, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so the first question will be, can you explain your hockey career for us please?
Yeah, so I played in major junior hockey. I played with the Quebec Ramparts for 3.5 years under Patrick Roy as the head coach. And then I got traded my final year, my 19-year-old year, I should say, to the Wildcats. And then we won the President Cup here in my hometown. And then we went to the Memorial Cup. We did not win, but it was a great opportunity. After that, I got drafted to Colorado. Then I played 3 years in the AHL for the farm team for the New York Rangers, which was they switched names a couple of times, but it's the Wolfpack. And then played 3 years in the A, and then after that, I ended up in Sweden for my first year in Europe. I was there for approximately, I think 3 years, and then went to 3-4 years in Sweden, and then I went to Austria for 3, and then I came back to Sweden again this past season.
Yeah, and how was the transition from North America to Europe from a hockey standpoint and from a lifestyle standpoint?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you play less games too. Like we're on the road. North America, you play 82 games in a season, so it's harder on the body. It's tougher. It's very more physical, smaller ice, so quicker a little bit. But the big ice in Europe makes a big difference too. You have more room, more space, more skills to create a lot of more things. So I prefer the European style now, but it took about 10 games to adapt to the style, and now I just love it. Yeah, no, it's a totally big difference. Here in North America, everything's go, 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 and Europe is very relaxed, family orientated. It's just like it's nice and quiet, and people are just I don't know. I just feel like they're happier too. You ride your bike to the rink instead of driving cars. You use the bus and all that. It's very people want to be more outside.
So you also played in the SHL. How is the Allsvenskan compared to the SHL? Is there a big difference?
Yeah, so the two leagues, I think, well, back then it was, should have been 5 years ago now for when I played in the SHL, but every year I switch. But if I compare both, is that they have very similar, like I want to say the top 3 teams in Allsvenskan could keep up a little bit, with some bottom teams. And when I played there back then, but now I would say, that's a good question. So I would say that both leagues are very defensive. It's very hard to score goals 5-on-5. It's a very, if you want to make points and all that, it's a point scorer. And if you are in the plus, you're plus minus, let's say you're in the plus, that means you're doing very well, because a lot of people get their points on the power play. Because it's a very defensive league, but the skating is on both leagues are phenomenal. Like Swedish players, they know how to skate from south, north. They play north, south all the time. They're very good. So that's what I've noticed between the two leagues, is that both of them they're very good skaters, and they know how to shoot the puck very hard. And the difference between SHL and Allsvenskan, I would say the goalie factor is a big one. I think the goalies are a lot better in the SHL, so it's a little harder to score. And the players have a little more experience. They're just a little older, so they've been playing the game for a little longer in the SHL compared to the Allsvenskan. But Allsvenskan had a lot of young prospects that are coming up that when I played there my first few years, that they played at NHL right after. I played it against Pasternak from the Bruins. I also had William Nylander on my team, and his dad was also on my line as well. So, they had a lot of great players that came through Allsvenskan.
And since you played in the EBL as well, can you compare the HockeyAllsvenskan with the EBL for us, please?
Yeah, well, Allsvenskan is just a younger league in general, but just their prospects and Swedish younger, they do it so well from the very young age of how to improve the player. From where I was this year, they went to hockey in the morning, school, and they come back and train more in the afternoon. So they're very dedicated in hockey twice a day. So that's how they get better and better. And I think the EBL is very North American style. I think the EBL was very because there's 12 imports on most teams. So there's a lot more hitting. It's a little more physical. It's a little more, give and goes more than skating, and it's stop and starts instead of turning compared to Sweden.
Yeah, and how is the league organized? Is it pretty professional? Like you regard it as a very professional league?
Oh no, every league I've been into, and the SHL has been very professional. The Allsvenskan was very professional, and the EBL was very professional. I was very lucky to every team I've been to, they were very, very good. Yeah, so the AHL is different because the AHL is like a league that you're grinding it out to try to make it to the NHL, and you want to do well, so you want to move up, and you don't want to do bad, so you go down to the East Coast. So it's the difference between the AHL is that you have your own back. You don't want you're not. A lot of people don't support their own teammates because it's all about personal best so that you can move up. It's not about teamwork as much in the AHL than it is in Europe.
So how about managing all of your transfers? Did you always have an agent?
Yeah, I've had a different agent in the past. The moment I have a new one, but when I was in North America, I had my agent there, and then when I transferred to Europe, I had my agent in the different countries that I wanted to be in.
And would you have any specific advice for a player looking to go to Sweden and maybe to the HockeyAllsvenskan?
Yeah, my advice would just be take everything, take all the experience that you have in North America, if it's the AHL or the East Coast, and it's going to take time to adapt at the start. Like I say, it takes about 10 games to get in, with the preseason and stuff, just because of the big ice, and the food is different, the lifestyle. But then when you get really comfortable about that and you feel good, then your play gets a lot better. So just make sure that you're just patient, just keep smiling, be passionate about the game, and make sure that every time you step on the ice, you work hard, and things will end up well.
So do you think that this league is more a destination, a dead end, or a starting point where you can move on to other top leagues?
Yeah, absolutely. So Allsvenskan is a league that's very underrated because, like I said, it's very hard to score, and a lot of players from Allsvenskan does move up to the SHL and become great stars there in that league. And you've seen most of them. That's how they came from. And even this year, you saw a lot of Allsvenskan players played on the EBL this year as well. I thought that they had quite a lot of Swedish players that went over to the EBL this past year. So you can see the transition there, that a lot of leagues are opening up to the Allsvenskan because they can see that they're good skaters and they can play, and it's a league that's really well respected.
So that was it for today, Kelsey. Thank you again for being here with us today.
Perfect, thank you.